Did you guys see Joe Biden's speech this week at the NAACP event in Detroit?
Memorized it.
Yeah, well, he did it. It filled with blunders. So many, in fact, that the New York Post wrote this article. If you could pull the article up, Kelly, White House makes 9 brutal corrections to Biden's NAACP Detroit speech. The speech happened on Sunday, and throughout the speech, Biden had several gaffes, some of them minor. Okay. He meant to say have, and he said are. Like, he forgot the P in NAACP. Yeah. He's 86. Yeah. So some of those
He's not 86. I think he's 96. No,
he's 82, but he'll be 86 if he wins again at the end of the 4 years.
Yes. God help us.
So he clearly...
Did he say the one word that he's been instructed not to say?
Which one is that?
Starts with... And
no, he didn't.
No, I think he's clear. No. He said that back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
I'm talking about newcomers for immigrants.
Yeah,
where'd you guys go?
No, we went there because he said it.
Talking about the newcomers.
Because he did.
Yeah,
I mean, he said some pretty racy
newcomers
things in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Callen?
He's got a stutter, you know. He suffered from a really bad stutter as a kid. So
and he's overcome
you guys
that.
are making fun of somebody with an impediment.
Don't cry. Well, hold on. The 2 aneurysms doesn't help. But go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
Well, okay. I could get the stutter. There are some of those where I see and I go, yeah, the guy has a stutter. I get it. We'll play one of those, in fact. But he messes up certain things, like saying that he was the vice president of the United States during the COVID pandemic. Now, I think we'd all remember the COVID pandemic.
It was Mike Pence.
Yeah, correct. Mike Pence was in office at that point, but Joe Biden was. Here's some of the corrections that the New York Post highlighted that they had to make. One of which includes he meant to call them insurrectionists and he called them erectionists. And we'll play a clip of some other people making that mistake in just a second. But I'd like to go to the first clip, if we could. The first clip of Joe Biden. Here he is, Sunday, accepting the NAACP award in Detroit, where he talks about being president during or vice president during the COVID-19 pandemic.
And when I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. And what happened was, Barack said to me, go to Detroit and help fix it. Well, poor mayor, he spent more time with me than he ever thought he was going to have to. God love you.
God love you. Not one person in that audience, even the mayor who's sitting right there, went, whoa, what?
Yeah, you don't do that when the president's talking. Yeah. You just kind of go.
Yeah. But I mean,
right?
it just drives me crazy. Like, nobody checks him, and that's why he gets away with it. And nobody ever goes, wait.
Well, Republicans are going like this.
Right. I think they correct him too much. Like, who made the 8 corrections? If I was president, I would get them fired immediately. Like, why are you correcting me? I'm the leader of the free world.
Yeah, nobody talked.
Wait. Actually, you know what's funny about Biden is if you actually talk to insiders in Washington, he was always really well liked. So he comes from an era when Democrats and Republicans, remember, their kids would play on the same sports leagues. They all went to school there. Yeah. They'd all meet. And so when they weren't in session, it was like they'd go to barbecues, they'd all hang out, they'd talk. Now it's become so divided. But Biden was also known as it, like, if you judge him by today's left, he was right because he was always super moderate. Like, actually, if you look, and a lot of people talk about the fact that he's still that way, but he pays lip service to the left. So they were like, if you look at what the left is asking him to do, he goes, yes, yes, yes. But then they were like, point to one piece of legislation where he actually follows through on their requests. It's kind of an interesting thing. So, because I'm usually pretty critical of him, you know, especially because he seems to have been hijacked by this ideology. Yeah. But they were like, yeah, he says this, that, and the other thing. But if you actually look at the laws he passes, he doesn't really play ball.
Really?
That's interesting. So,
go ahead, Rob.
Well, so messing up and calling them erectionists instead of insurrectionists. He's 82.
That's just comedy.
Yeah. Take a look at this clip. Here's a clip of a bunch of people messing up. Instead of calling the insurrection an insurrection, here's a...
Oh, is that Adam Schiff, the guy I can trust? A whole bunch of is Adam Schiff the truth teller?
Yeah, calling it an erection.
Into inciting an insurrection, which he did.
They said he participated in an erection, and I have to, an insurrection.
They believe Donald John Trump incited the erection.
Let's talk about the fact that
is that music going to kill us?
I've seen it. She laughs.
Yeah.
Music.
Maybe that too.
Who has been impeached for inciting the erection, inciting the insurrection at the
U.S.
Capitol. We understand that the former president...
Insurrection. And I have to say, I got up at 5 this morning to do Casey Hunt's show, and I'm exhausted. So...
5 in.
Yeah, you can talk about that too, I guess.
Maybe we should talk about that too. The president incited an insurrection. Maybe we should talk about the fact that the president...
So
I gotta tell you,
listen, it's a common mistake. I get it. So it happens. People flub up, and Biden has blunders. He's no different than anybody else. There is this video of him trying to pronounce the PACT Act in New Hampshire on Tuesday. Could we play this clip real quick, Kelly?
Okay.
After I signed the PACT Act into law, I handed the pen.
tough word, PACT Act.
The PACT Act is tough to get out.
He looks more and more like he's made of wax.
Yeah.
Like if you were a conspiracy theorist and you told me that that's actually not Biden, but just like a puppet that they made in Boston Dynamics, I'd be like, well.
Adam asked Vinny a very legitimate question earlier this week on Pat's podcast. He goes, "How many Bidens are there?" And Vinny, what was your answer?
Listen to me. I'm a pretty listen. Unlike Alex Jones, I'm not
Where are we going with this one, buddy?
Alex Jones, the whole Connecticut schools.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, guess what? I never went there. I would never go there. But the majority of the shit that this guy said about the government and what they did with COVID and 9/11 and all that, the guy is right, okay? I'm just saying, my kind of weird out there moment is, especially with that CIA girl that came out and she said she was in the White House with, I forgot which president, Reagan or somebody, or she was a CIA operative, she had the mask on, and she was like, do you know that we have these things for the CIA that we have masks? And he's like, yeah, right. And she started ripping off.
That was Obama.
It was Obama. Ripping off the mask. He's like, no, what are you doing? It's so real, and I wouldn't put it past. There's 2 videos of Biden side by side.
Sand mask. For us in the assassination business.
Because you know.
It's literally a sand mask.
But come on.
And it comes on your face.
You can look like anybody you want.
But look, and if you think that technology doesn't exist, take a look at Johnny Knoxville in Bad Grandpa, where he dresses up and like legitimately goes out and fools people in person to pretend, and that's Hollywood. Yeah. So imagine the different technology and that the government has access to.
But Brian, is it feasible that somebody like that? Because I've seen. There's one video when he was on Air Force One, bro. I know we were being funny with the wax thing. It didn't look like him at all.
It's possible.
His chin was weird, like his mask was falling off.
It's possible. He always sounds like he's saying his last words on a battlefield. Yeah, doesn't he? He's always like, my God. This is the most important thing I'm originally gonna get some ice cream. What'd you say? It's just he glitches like he's dying. Doesn't he sound like he's dying all the time?
Yeah.
But Vinny, wouldn't they pick a better guy?
No, because by the way, I think we talked about this today. He's doing exactly what they want, bro. On the Democrat report card, he's killing it. Hey, Biden. Open the border, leave the trans stuff the way that it is. Dude, what hasn't he done right for the far left?
Win polls. That's what it comes down to, and it looks like. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
he's winning.
He's doing well. Yeah, he's giving them lip service, but when it actually comes down to the polls across the country, and the 5 out of the 7 swing states, Trump's winning right now. He doesn't stand a chance. And I didn't hear the term "too big to ignore" until yesterday, or it was "too big to rig." Too big to rig is now the Trump slogan for 2024. It's too big to rig.
I don't know about that.
Too big to rig.
We'll see. Yeah, independents are notoriously hard to pin down. Independents usually hang the phone up when they're polled. And that's what a lot of people aren't. The people that actually answer polls have already made up their mind. So it's a very, very, that's why polls are always a little bit off. And I think the biggest liability for Democrats is the border, the economy. If the economy is doing well, it's different. The biggest liability for Republicans is abortion. And that has played a way bigger role than people thought. Way bigger, because women, especially young, educated women, and a lot of the women are galvanizing that vote, and they're losing. That's why they're losing all these states. So it's going to be a very contentious thing. So it comes down to those little nitty gritties. People keep saying, but Trump will win the Electoral College. Maybe. We'll see. If the economy's doing well, a lot of people, especially independents, go, I don't want to rock the boat. He's under all these indictments. I don't know what's going on. There are a lot of people that dislike Trump but like his policies. They don't like him as a person, but they like his policies,
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm not as optimistic. Sorry to piss on you.
No. Well, because I'm interested to see if you guys actually think Biden will be the nominee. The reason I asked that is because what we started this conversation with was John Kasich, former Republican governor of Ohio. If you could pull up the article, this is from the Daily Mail 5 days ago. Political analyst reveals why he thinks there may be a secret plot underway to replace Biden as the Democrats' presidential candidate.
Kamala?
He didn't even say.
Kamala would die.
Oh,
Kamala would be I believe legally, it has to be Kamala, doesn't it?
Oh, if he
dies in office, yeah.
If he steps down,
but not to run.
Can he resign?
I think if he decides not to run, I think the automatic candidate is Kamala. Can you look
that's
that
even
up?
scarier for them to have her.
Oh,
as
she
the
would
candidate.
never.
That's
beat
only
Trump.
if she would finish his first.
She wouldn't win her own state.
But anyone could run for the second time. I'm just going to go rapid fire right here for everything you guys just said here. Number one, interesting to know that your barometer of where you stop your stories is Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. All right, I'm not going to go there.
I would never.
But
go
I'll anywhere about that. So I got a Justice. I got a big. I got like an insurrection going on in my pants.
He's Quadzilla.
Sorry. So look, I actually find myself in a very interesting place politically, where I don't think many people are. And some of you might say, yeah, I don't think so. I'm in a place right now, registered independent, but I've never voted for a president, Republican president, ever. I've only voted for a Democrat. My dad was a JFK guy, Clinton guy. It's safe to say the Democrats have completely moved the goalposts. Republicans have gone. Republican Party doesn't exist anymore. If you're an establishment Republican, Bush, Romney type, you've been chewed up, spit out. Good luck to you, Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Adam Kinzinger. It's the MAGA party at this point.
Done deal.
So I find myself at a very interesting crossroads right here, where everyone knows publicly in 2020, I bet PBD and everyone that would bet me that Joe Biden was winning the election.
And you won thousands.
And I won tens.
A lot of
I
money.
won thousands on air, boom. Because I said it in 2020, dude, a ham sandwich could have run against Donald Trump at that point, and a ham sandwich could have won.
Yeah.
A non-pork eating Jewish or Muslim would have been like, I'll take the ham sandwich. Yeah. That's how much people were just over Trump. But 2020 is different. I always talk about not clinging to exactly where you are and actually evolving and actually soaking information. Now we have two different case examples and case studies of what the two have done. And a lot of people, I think, gravitate towards the personality of the president. But Callen hit it. What are the policies? And people don't, 80% of people are more personality driven, and most people are, 20% of people are more policy driven. Policy is tough. Policy wonk. Did you read the pages? No, I just saw the tweet.
Yeah.
So I find myself in an interesting situation where I actually don't give a fuck about either of these guys. I'm not like, you see what Biden did today? Fucking idiot. See what Trump did today? Hate you. I don't care. I care about America. I often say I'm a money guy. I don't care about the red. I don't care about the blue. I care about the green. I've said publicly, I can't vote for Biden again. Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Will I vote for Trump? Maybe. And you're talking to somebody who would refuse to vote for Trump in 2016 and 2020. That's a little canary in the coal mine. If me saying, I don't know about this guy,
that's fair.
I would never vote for him. And now I'm like, yeah, I would. I'm very interested in seeing what RFK does here. But here's where I draw the line. And this is where we disagree. I just think there's one Joe Biden. We've done the replacing Biden, Joe.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about them replacing Biden story until November 5th. And guess what? Bottom line is they're riding with Biden for good or for bad.
Nobody ever talks about this. If you want to change the political system, if you want candidates that you can stomach, then you got to vote in. Anybody fill in the blank? You got to vote in.
Third party candidate?
The primaries.
Oh, the primary.
Nobody votes in the primaries.
Well, you can only be voting in the primary if you're a registered Republican or Democrat. I can't vote in the primaries because I'm a registered independent.
If that's the case,
I've tried.
Then what happens is only the most fanatical people will push their status quo candidate. So it's adorable that you have your JFKs and your RFKs and you have your Andrew Yangs and all that's adorable. And a political operatives just look at you and go, that's so cute. Our guy's in. Our gal's in, because that's called the primaries. We know who's going to win the primaries. Fundraisers know who's going to win the primaries. So again, you got to educate yourself onto the nitty gritty and the actual inner machinations of what goes on in the American political process. As long as all of us stay home during the primaries, we will always have candidates that we are not probably going to, that are probably not going to represent us. They are going to be entrenched power brokers. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's like campaign finance reform as well. You know, the way campaigns are financed, the way you spend, what is it, 60% of your day as a congressman off in your car, off government grounds, raising money.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, and who are those people? You better vote. Your fundraiser will give you a list of people to call, and you call those people. And you better vote lock and step. They'll tell you no, but you're going to vote somewhere along that hip and hip, knee and knee. Otherwise, you ain't getting money the next time around. And your fundraiser will tell you that.
So I love, you're so spot on. I just came back this morning. I flew in. I was in D.C.
Yeah.
I go every year to this exact same meeting where finance and politics collide. We're there to essentially have a day of talking. This is how I met PBD at these types of meetings in 2012. I go to these meetings. I used to go every month. Now I go, quarterly at this point. But this every year in D.C., there's this, these PACs, these types of situations. The insurance lobby PAC puts it all together where the financial services committee meets with all our Congress people. And we go to the Hill. We walk down to the Hill together as the financial services industry.
Not as an
and we get them to
insurrectionist.
add, not as insurrectionists, but you never know.
You never know.
If they change the tax code, I could see things going crazy here. Because that's what we're essentially there for, to keep insurance tax-free, not tax and death benefit, not to get too policy wonkish. But we're out there meeting our Congress people and their chief of staff and all their little,
subordinates,
constituents.
I'm sorry.
And dude, these guys got no clue about what's going on. And it's just man after woman after woman. I'm just like, so tell me what life insurance is. Really? What the stock market is. They don't know. And by the way, if this is the financial services, then they're meeting with big oil. Then they're meeting with big pharma. Then they're meeting with the energy people. Then they're meeting, these Congress people and their subordinates don't know shit. So whoever's cutting the biggest check, the lobbyists, whatever, that's who they're going to vote with. And it's just, you're seeing how the sausage is made and you're wondering what the hell's going on here. And to your point about Congress people and primaries, this is the difference between the House and the Senate. Famously, you know the Federalist Papers, John Jay and Madison way more than I do. Reference to Bryan Callen right there. But the Senate is supposed to be what the cooling saucer in Congress. Let cooler heads provide. But the House of Representatives, they're representing districts.
That's very close to the people.
That's where you get the AOCs.
Well, that's very close to the people, right?
Exactly.
That's why we have a refined democracy, because the people vote. They vote. Well, the bill is introduced, into the House, and what it does actually, when the bill comes to the House, it's got to go to a committee and then a subcommittee.
Yeah, all
you understand?
So it gets filtered.
Yes, there's a committee and there's a subcommittee, and a lot of times, if your bill is now in the Appropriations Committee,
here we go,
instead of this other committee, it means it's dead.
It
means, and they're going to go, we don't have the money for it. It's a great idea. We don't have the money for it. So many of these things become. So that's why the Speaker of the House and things. This was explained to me very recently by Nick Freitas on my podcast.
Which Nick?
Nick Freitas. Do you know who he is?
Not Nick Fuentes.
He's a from
Virginia.
Not an insurrection.
Not the Nazi guy on
No. This guy is great. I love that channel.
Allegedly Nazi. No, I'm not saying
Nick
that either.
Freitas, you guys should have him on, man. You should have him on. He's a former Green Beret.
Sign him
smart.
up. We got our agent over there.
And he started with fatherhood content.
Amazing guy.
He's an amazing guy.
I love the guy.
Go ahead. Sorry,
and he
Mr.
was
Callen.
explaining explain to us how the real process works, the nitty gritty.
How the sausage is made.
Dude, and it goes through a committee, then a subcommittee.
Oh, yeah.
Then if it gets to a subcommittee, then it'll be voted for on the House. Then it goes to the Senate. The wise men of the Senate then say, let's take a look at this. Is it work? Does it work? Then it has to be screened by the Supreme Court. It can be sued. It can be brought up and said this is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court shuts it down. It finally goes to the governor or the president, depending on state or federal level, and the president then will finally sign it into law, but the president, remember, has veto power as well.
Yeah.
So it takes, it's a
this
beautiful
is just an
process.
eighth-grade civics class right here.
It's so true.
That every other kid in America would probably fail.
You got to know this.
Because if you don't know, they're going to keep getting away with murder and the system will never change. Rob, you have something else?
Well, we'll end with
Speaking of getting away with murder, Hillary Clinton, sorry about that.
We'll
Allegedly.
on this with John Kasich. So this is, again, why we started this conversation. John Kasich believes that there's a secret plot. He went on MSNBC to speak about this, where he says that there's a secret plot in the Democratic Party to replace Biden due to his public blunders as well as his low polling.
Okay.
Kelly, if we could play this clip real quick.
The fact that the economy is not turning, the fact that people are saying it's a terrible economy for them, the fact that they have said they don't have any confidence that Joe Biden can fix it. His public appearances have not been very good, and now they've agreed to 2 debates, which is out there as you can get. I'm starting to wonder. I've talked to a lot of Democrats. They didn't tell me this, but I'm starting to wonder if there's a real possibility that Joe Biden will not be the Democrat nominee. I'm starting to wonder about it.
Governor, where is this coming from?
It comes from the fact that I've talked to a lot of people, and I see what these numbers are like, Jose.
That's the clip. We're good.
Can I? Zero credibility with this mother sucker.
Really?
Who'd you speak to? I've spoken to people.
Yeah.
What did they tell you? They told me some stuff. I'm starting to think,
it's
based on what.
It's like my credible source.
Do you know actually who John Kasich is and was?
Yeah.
Do you remember his story?
Yeah.
Great governor, Ohio, during 2016, during the Republican national debates and everything that was going on, he was the last man standing against Trump.
Yeah.
He took down Little Marco and low energy Jeb and horse-faced Carla Finorino.
Well,
bing,
his
bing,
state
bing, ding,
was
ding,
crushing
ding,
it.
ding, bing. He was the last man left.
Yeah.
And I actually said, I remember being like, that's your establishment guy. That's the guy that if you're a true Republican, you're going to vote for, not Trump. The next day, he was out of the race.
Do you know what the rumor
He hasn't
about
been
it?
relevant since 2016.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that doesn't have insight on what's going on the Democratic side of things, it's the guy who hasn't been relevant in Republican politics, much like politics in general, in 8 years.
If he gets acquitted in this hush money scandal, this trial that's going
Which
on
I
in
think
New York
he
right
will.
now,
Trump,
he
you're
will.
talking about.
If he gets acquitted, or if the charges are knocked down to a misdemeanor or whatever, because the judge is clearly very biased against Trump, wants Trump in jail. But if he gets acquitted, the other cases don't go to trial until he's in office.
Yes.
And they are banking on him getting convicted here because they can really use that. But there's a liberal panic here because they're like, if it doesn't look like a good case, it never was a good case. It never was a good case. I mean, Bragg, nobody else would have touched this case, but Bragg was like,
so
"Let me do this."
weak, Callen, and you know it. You said it earlier.
What do you mean?
It's so weak. Again, I'm gonna let you guys take it. I'm at a place where I literally feel like I can be an umpire, balls and strikes.
Yeah.
I'm not on Team Trump.
It's a good place to
I'm
be.
definitely not on Team Biden. I'm generally like, yeah, I agree with you there. He's wrong. He's right. Trump killed it on that one. Not funny, Biden. It's such a sham operation what's going on with this Stormy Daniels hush money gag order. And everyone knows it. Michael Cohen just got exposed as a thief and as a corrupt, as a criminal, and that's their star witness.
Yeah, but mind you, it's
dirtbag.
So, and Adam, as a guy that was never a child, I get it, but seeing what you're seeing with what you're talking about, it's on all from 2016, from the Russia shit to the fake impeachments to now. It proves that they're all connected. All the judges, all the fucking, all those people that are appointed by George Soros, all those Alvin Braggs, all those Letitia James, bro, they're ignorant in my point of view, but they're very good at taking. I hate when people go, well, it's the law. Well, it's the law. You can screw anybody over with the law. It's how you bend it.
I never say 0% innocent, 100% guilty. I never say that. There's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
Right? This was their weakest case. And this is what they went with.
It really is. I think
the strongest case, I think, is Georgia, because it's a Republican governor, are Republican people that run the state there. Find me the 11,000 votes.
That's the insurrectionists.
No.
Oh, that's the tampering
vote.
votes.
That's the vote. That to me.
Yeah, that's
that. But I don't think you're going to get to that.
Yeah.
The insurrectionist thing.
You're not going to get to that, and guess what? I think I don't know the left's tactic, but they're not realizing you keep pouring gasoline on a fire, his popularity is getting bigger. And I'm telling you right now, the people, and this might be a setup from the left, they're not going to take it much longer, bro.
I don't know if his popularity is getting bigger.
What do you mean?
Oh, it is. These
Hear me out. Tear this argument down.
Yeah.
I just think that it's enraging the 42% of America, his base, even more. So I love Donald Trump 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. The independents are still deciphering.
Yeah, I think
the people that are never Trumpers aren't.
I tell you what I think these elections come down to. I really do. I think the reason Obama, after 8 years, I think the reason Trump beat Hillary had everything to do with the fact that the average American had $500 in the bank.
Yep.
And that if you had one thing go wrong, you were in deep trouble. And when you're a parent, when you're a voter, and you can't put your kid in an after-school program, when $100 means everything to you, and you're watching these other people make all this money, and you're watching a whole group of people that are dictating policy, pay no price for being wrong, have no skin in the game, where every decision I make counts, is make or break for me, that's when you have somebody who comes along and says, the system's rigged against you, they're all scumbags, I'm your guy, I talk like you, I work in construction, and that's why Trump won. And I think that's what elections are won on a lot of times. They're won on the person that can win that argument, which is you are worse off 4 years today than you were 4 years ago. Why is that, and who's to blame? Here are the reasons. Yep. Bang, bang, bang. And the truth is, I know how much a carton of milk costs, and so do you, because a carton of milk makes a huge difference. When the price of a carton of milk goes up $3, it doesn't mean a thing to them. They don't notice. They can't tell you how much it is. You can.
And
that's what it's
Can I give you a little pushback here?
Well, I gotta move on to the next one.
The ironic thing is that you're saying a billionaire who lives in Trump Tower is saying, I know what it's like with a carton of milk. No, he doesn't.
No. Do you remember what he said?
He's relating. But just like Obama did the exact same thing 8 years prior to Bush.
Yep.
The economy, the wars, the everything.
Yeah.
So
Trump
this is why
Trump leaned into it, though. Trump's in the American dream. Because when they said, do you think that Mitt Romney's, it's a liability for Mitt Romney because he's so rich? And Trump goes, he's not rich. I'm rich.
You know what?
You just
You're
won.
absolutely right, because Romney was ashamed of being rich.
I gotta go.
No. I need to call out Adam. I'm so sick and tired of the whole independent bullshit, Adam. Like the amount of suffering that Biden has put the American public in because of his weak border policy. Like
Are you even American? Can you even vote?
I don't give.
Why are you talking?
I came here legally. Like every single dead American is a tragedy. And the second thing, his war policy. Like I'm against war all over.
I'm not defending Biden, but who are you critiquing?
We can't have
the Afghanistan.
Are you critiquing American independence?
Yeah, the Afghanistan debacle was a disgrace.
The Afghanistan debacle, the Israel thing could have been avoided.
Right now?
I'm critiquing anyone that is giving like serious thought to electing a guy that is willing to go to war every single time, that has no brains left. Like, it's embarrassing. We laugh about it. I feel bad laughing about it because it's not even funny anymore. He's not even there.
If you're trying to do a personal attack, cool, great. I'm cool with that. I've already said I can't vote for Biden. So if you're attacking the tens of millions of Americans who are independents that vote Republican and Democrat each time around, then it shows, because you're actually smart, it shows that you have no clue about the history of America, because you could have never voted for a Republican after Bush in 08.
I'm not saying Republican. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
He's going to be 86 when he gets out of office. We've seen the last 4 years. Like it's like anyone.
Yeah, that's a huge liability.
Listen to me. This happens everywhere. This happened in Colombia, and they elected a guy that was running with the narcos. This happened in Brazil. They elected a guy that was in prison when they were going to elect him. So we need to go like broader than parties. You know, like we need to start thinking about who the person is and what he's doing. You know, like it's bigger than left and right. It's bigger than Democrat and Republic. You can't elect a guy that is not all there. Like, it's just crazy talk.
Well, I'm going to give you pushback, and then I got to go. You're taking your beef up with the wrong people. If anything, you should be showing respect to the independents, because those are the people who are actually going to move the needle. Those are the people who voted for Bush, then voted for Obama, then voted for Trump, then voted for Biden, and then we'll go back to Trump again. Because there's 42% that are fixated on the left, and there's 42% or so that are fixated on the right, and there's 10 to 12% of America that are going to vote one way or another. So if anything, I would encourage the independents to be more open-minded and think more straight. The Democrats are voting one way, Republicans are voting one way. You can't change that. It's fixed in the system. The independents is who need to move their vote.